At a bakery near me, I would pay between $84 and $108 for these, but I made them at home for less than $25. I have zero professional training. I just made it my goal to become good at cake decorating, and these are the types of cupcakes that I can make. So I'm going to help you save some money and not sacrifice the bakery made look, and I'll show you how to easily make these right from home and how to make them look like you spent $108 on them. I'm Kristen, I'm a self-taught cake decorator, and welcome back to my channel where I'm sharing tips and tricks on how you can make cakes right from your own kitchen, helping you to save a lot of money by making it yourself. Here I'm using my go-to cake mix, Duncan Hines white cake mix, and I do use a doctored recipe, which I've linked for you below, so I don't follow the ingredients and directions that are on the box. I use a doctored cake mix as opposed to using the box recipe because the texture of the doctored recipe versus the box recipe is actually a really big difference. The doctored recipe creates a much better crumb structure that has a ton of flavor and is super moist. So after I whisk the wet ingredients all together, I'm going to add 2 drops of the Wilton Color Right Pink. And I'm adding it to the wet ingredients first so that I don't overmix the batter after adding in the dry ingredients, which can affect the way that the cakes bake up and create a more dense cake. You may have noticed that I don't use a hand mixer for this recipe. I'm sifting in the dry ingredients so that there are no crumbs and I can easily incorporate all of the ingredients together without overmixing it. These Wilton multicolor liners are great for the mermaid theme, so I alternated each color because I just loved how all the colors look together. And whenever I fill my cupcake liners, I always use an ice cream scoop. It just helps to keep them relatively uniform, and typically 1 full scoop is enough to fill them, which should be about halfway. Tap the pan to get out any air bubbles and to allow the batter to spread evenly. Okay, so for the first design, we'll need to freeze the cupcakes so that the tops are set flat. So pipe on a dollop of buttercream and then gently press it upside down onto parchment paper, and then just place it in the freezer until the cupcake peels off cleanly, which should take about 30 minutes. And while that's freezing, we'll start on the next design. And for this one, I'm using 2 piping tips, the 1M and 32 in pink and teal buttercream, which I've already prepped. So starting with the 1M in pink, I'm just piping an easy zigzag pattern, which creates a ruffly look. Then with tip 32, create a tiny rope design by simply making circles as you move down the cupcake. And I find that going in a counterclockwise direction makes for an overall better look. I found a pack of these cute mermaid themed cupcake toppers on Amazon. They're glittery, which is hard to see on video, but they came in a pack of 5 different designs in different colors, which were perfect for this theme. And I chose to break the stick in half because they were a bit too long, but it's completely optional. Then to finish off this design, I added some nonpareil sprinkles and some white pearls from Wilton. It makes it look like bubbles from the ocean, which is so cool, and I just loved the look. Now moving on to the next design where we're going to use the seashell cupcake topper. So for these I'm using tip 32 to pipe shells all around the cupcake. And when I'm piping them, I applied pressure and allowed the frosting to fill up on the edge and then quickly move my hand in towards the center of the cupcake. And then I repeat the same process to add a second layer on top of that. Then you can go ahead and add your cute little seashell topper and then the Wilton white pearls to finish the look. Next, I'm creating the same shell design that we just did, but I'm not adding the same second layer. Instead, I'm going to use tip 1M and create a multicolored swirl on top. So for the swirl, I'm using 3 different colors, and my favorite way to create the 3-tone look is by building it on a piece of plastic wrap. So I add each color in a line next to each other, and I would say I'm adding about a half a cup per color, and then I roll it up into a sausage. Twist up both ends so the frosting doesn't spill out, and I like to tie one end to be extra secure and then cut off the tip of the other end. And then it's all ready for the piping bag that's been fit with a 1M piping tip. Drop it right into the bag and then carefully guide the frosting down towards the tip. Before you pipe onto the cupcake, squeeze some frosting out until you see all 3 colors. And then make a buildable, roughly pattern on the top of the cupcake, and this one is perfect for the mermaid tail topper. And of course you can add some edible glitter spray to make these extra cute. Here is the finished product for the first few designs, and I really love how these ones came out. By now the cupcakes that we placed in the freezer should be all set, so gently peel them off the parchment paper. If they do not peel off cleanly, just throw them back in the freezer for another 10 minutes. Here I'm spraying the tops with edible glitter spray before I pipe on the design. Then I'm taking the 3-tone frosting and making a large seashell on top using the same motion that I did for the other shell pattern. Of all the designs I just did, this one is my absolute favorite. This set of mermaid cupcakes definitely looks like it was worth $108, and it only cost less than $25 to make them from home. And they were pretty easy to make. So if you make these, I would absolutely love to see how yours came out, so please tag me. And as always, leave a comment below if there's any cake or cupcake design that you want to learn how to make, and I'd love to help you with it.